6 or 7, it just seemed like that was the neatest thing, would be to go and fly those fast movers.
You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to tell anybody about it. You just know everything there is to know about flying that fighter. That's my idealistic image of myself someday. Hopefully. Someday.
Touch of air sickness. Touch of air sickness.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm here seeing this. For all the money in the world, I wouldn't do anything else.
You know nothing today, but 110 training days from now, every single one of you guys is going to be able to take this jet and kick the living crap out of any MiG-29 on the planet.
We are warriors! Warriors!
It's becoming more serious now.
It was a huge eye-opening for each of us.
Such rage and such anger. We were all extremely happy to be in a position to do something about it.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
It's just, this is what I'm here for. This is why I serve.
I'm an American fighter pilot. We're not going to let that happen again. We're not going to let that happen again.
We're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world, and no one will keep that light from shining. Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation.
Location, Tyndall Air Force Base, Panama City, Florida. Home of the Air Force's most elite pilot training program.
Number of applicants to Air Force pilot training per year, 15,000. Number of admissions, 2,000. Number of flight school graduates per year, 1,100. Number of flight school graduates accepted to Tyndall per year, 50.
Number of graduates who qualify, 8. Tyndall's mission, to train pilots to fly the Air Force's most powerful and deadly fighter, the F-15 Eagle. Course length, 110 days.
Each one of those days is going to feel like an eternity to each one of these students. They're going to go from being just a normal guy to American F-15 fighter pilot.
3 men, 110 days, 1 will be top done.
This story is just about our dreams, our hopes, our desires, a challenging time in our life, and our service to our country.
Lieutenant Todd Giggy, age 24. See you later.
Flying the Eagle is all I've ever wanted to do. I think I'm completely lucky to have the opportunity to fly the world's greatest high-performance aircraft. If you want to fly the hottest jets, you have to be in the Air Force.
He showed up expecting this thing to be Todd Giggy's excellent adventure. He was in for a few surprises.
We don't carry briefcases, we don't use umbrellas, and we damn sure don't color our hair.
Captain Marcus Gregory, age 25, hometown, Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay. I've got some underlying important loves of my life. My family, my faith, and the love of flying. Being a Christian, I was worried about being accepted. The Bible says, don't be anxious about tomorrow because God will take care of you.
Captain Mike Love, age 28, hometown, Grand Prairie, Texas.
I'm just so excited about this training that I'm embarking on. I'm excited to come back home, and I've got 2 little boys. I mean, they watch TV and see jets flying, and they think it's cool, and I'm gonna give them their first opportunity to go to school that day and say, you know, Daddy's a fighter pilot. It makes me proud. I'm not your average Eagle driver in that I had flown other airplanes previously. I was a bomber pilot. Pulling up to the gates at Tyndall, beautiful place, right on the Gulf Coast of Florida. And then the most beautiful thing of all is the mighty Eagle sitting on the ramp.
As you're driving up, there's F-15s landing like right overhead. It's unbelievable, and I've never even seen an F-15 up close like that before. You know, and there's just so many Eagles flying around.
I can't believe I'm here doing this.
All right, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. First of all, welcome to the 95th Fighter Squadron. I'm Dave Freeney. I'm the operations officer here. Congratulations, because training day 1 on the F-15 is a big deal, and you guys ought to be proud to be here.
Colonel Freeney, larger-than-life kind of guy. He's a graduate of the F-15 weapons instructor course, which is the pinnacle of training in the Eagle. He's the man who owns the jets in the 95th.
You're going to solo the Eagle. That's a big deal. From then on, you'll be welcome to the Brotherhood. There's not too many people on this planet that get to solo the F-15, and you're going to be one of them. I'm watching these guys all the time and trying to gauge their initial reaction. I want to find the guys that have the hearts of a lion.
Tyndall has a really rough reputation. A lot of guys that I know have decided not to fly the F-15 just because of the reputation that Tyndall has.
If you get washed out of this program, you actually go through a flight examination board where they take a look at you and they decide, can you still continue to fly?
What we do more than just teach you how to fly is teach you how to be a fighter pilot. Don't be surprised if you find yourself going through some kind of metamorphosis. We expect that to happen. Trust me, you know nothing today, but 110 training days from now, every single one of you guys is going to be able to take this jet off and kick the living crap out of any MiG-29 on the planet. And you will get there.
He basically said, yeah, by the end of this program, you're going to be able to take off on any kind of weather and go out and kill any adversary out there that's trying to attack you. And I don't even know how to start the jet.
I think at that point, if he had just let us run out to the jets, we'd have figured out how to start him, and let's get going with the training right now. It was really cool.
Bandit, left 7 low. Break left.
We make sure there's no doubt in their mind that we are going to train them how to shoot down other airplanes. And there are going to be people in those other airplanes. And the missiles we carry and the weapons we carry are extremely lethal.
Visual. Fox 2 kill, Bandit, engage with Eagles.
F-15's mission, air superiority through air-to-air combat.
Kill Eagle, left hand turn 8,000 mission.
Then we'll take him out to the one of the F-15s, and the instructor pilot will take him through a walk-around.
Walking up to the Eagle jet for the first time, it's something else. I don't think I'll ever take it for granted.
Height, 18.5 feet. Length, 63.8 feet.
Everything about it is just awesome.
Break left, Bandit, you're left 9 o'clock.
F-15 maximum speed, 1,875 miles per hour.
It just amazed me at how big the aircraft is, just how powerful it is,
F-15's weapon systems, anti-aircraft missiles, and M61 Gatling guns.
Just an elegant creature, kind of like a bird of prey.
It is really cool to just walk up and stand next to this machine, this mighty instrument of death that you're about to train in.
F-15's air combat record, 104 kills, 0 losses.
Over the last 20 years, we haven't lost a single F-15 to combat operations.
Go ahead and press on in. That packet there on the very back is it's a 3-pager. It's got a cover sheet signed by the boss, Colonel Rock. This is a spouse info sheet.
Bubba Boster comes in, and he was there to kind of remind us that, hey, what we're involved with now, what we're training to do is deadly serious business.
You know, flying's a dangerous business. Dudes do get killed, and it's primarily out of consideration for your wife and the rest of your family. If you do go out there and get boarded out, it's got specifically on, you know, who do you want to show up at the house to inform your wife. What kind of funeral arrangements do you want? Where do you want to have that? What kind of burial?
It was really a showstopper for me to hear that. I know guys do get killed, and I know that it could happen to me. However, I'm in my early 20s, and it's nothing that I've ever really thought about.
The fact of the matter is, I've been flying in the F-15 community since 1982, and there's lots of friends of mine that are no longer with us. And that's just our life. That's what we do. That's part of our business.
Life or death to me meant staying in the program, not staying in the program. So there's your life or death choice. There's my life or death choice.
To me, the biggest fear isn't something happening to me. My biggest fear is just making it through this program.
I mean, I never thought in these terms. I mean, it was always, hey, I need to learn how to fly. Hey, I got to get better at flying the T-38. Hey, I need to do these things. It wasn't, hey, do you realize in 7 months you're going to be flying over Iraq, and nobody even knows about it, and you're going to be there. And hey, oh, by the way, you might get killed, so you probably need to talk to your wife about what could happen. And oh, by the way, that could also happen, you know, next week when you start flying.
The ultimate goal for a student is just to graduate from the course. At the end of this course, we're going to end up giving out some awards, Distinguished Graduate Awards, Top Gun Awards.
Our primary focus is just make it through this and help each other to make it through it. But after that, you know, if Top Gun happens, you know, that'd be great.
I'm not thinking about Top Gun honors. I'm just trying to get through the next day.
I absolutely want to finish as the Top Gun. I mean, what else can you aspire to be?
The worst thing you can do as a student in this class is talk about winning an award in public. Okay, that's bad.
You're fixing to embark on a really neat journey learning about this airplane. They need to understand early on that this is serious business. This is serious business.
It's probably something you should listen to.
Stump is a kind of a character.
I'm a pretty good guy to ask about where to go eat.
He's a great instructor, good at keeping your attention in the classroom.
I have no problems with stopping the class and throwing an eraser at a guy if he's asleep. The first part of the course is pretty much akin to putting your lips around a fire hydrant, okay? And just keep turning the water on, you know, and a lot of academics, man, you're just gonna think you never get to the jet. start throwing so much information to them that they know at the end of it's going to evolve into a 100-question test, and got to do well on that.
Our job here is not to teach technique. We basically teach the book.
Emergency gear jettison in.
Okay, what happens if you've got an engine problem?
Pitch ratio, throw it to auto.
Assume that both your radials just quit.
Part of your verified gear handle down.
You just dropped the checklist on the floor.
1, 2, 3 are up and 1's down.
And you have no help but your brain. You've got to know the system's cold. If the fire persists, eject.
You got one chance, and that's pulling the handles. If it doesn't work, pull them again. If that doesn't work, I'll enjoy the ride down.
On the first day of academics, we've had more information than what I had in the first month of pilot training. There's a lot of stuff to learn.
You got any questions?
Questions?
Maybe it's my gut. I'm not sure.
This is entertainment hour.
I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree, but I get by okay.
Once you're up there, go ahead and spin around and I'll connect you up.
All right. Canopy, visor, mask.
Close all the way down to your hips.
Because Mikey's been an instructor, I think he processes all this a lot quicker than we do.
It can be only one.
Mike has a whole lot of flying experience. He's got a lot more than everybody else.
He flew B-1s. He was an instructor in T-38s.
Captain Love has got to change gears here because he has experience in another airframe, so he's going to have to unlearn a lot of that stuff and relearn the F-15 specifically. Gregory seems to be doing pretty well. He seems to be taking to this very easily.
Airspeed and 500 DPI.
Marcus is a very smart guy. He's very gifted and seemed to do really well in academics.
I guess what pushes me to study extra and things like that, just to be sure and make it through this.
See.
Number 9? Number 9?
Delta, after JFS reaches idle.
Yeah. We got some work to do with you here.
Lieutenant Gigi is kind of struggling a little bit. He's having to work overtime to get the academics.
The academics are, very intense. And sometimes the fighter pilot basics is stuff I can't even possibly understand.
I think Gigi probably needs to buckle down into the books a little more.
I think he's a lot less worried about the flying part than the academic part.
Yeah, you can do the full 360 pirouette like you're doing, or you can just use common sense and come out backwards to start with.
Not unusual for a young man to be slightly overwhelmed initially when you start throwing so much information to them.
What about this dude? There is a little bit of an adversarial relationship between the student and the instructor.
When you first see the guys, they look like that little skinny pale kid that gets beat up all the time, and you say, oh God, here comes another class.
I'd walk down the hall and say hi to dudes, and they'd just walk right past me.
Okay, well, let's blow him off for now until we figure out who he is.
You have to show us that you can put up with the crap we're going to give you, because we are going to give you a hard time.
Maybe an IP will refer to a student as a maggot because it's the lowest form of life that ever has the hope of flying.
We're because we can.
We are in the training business here. We're kind of a three-legged stool. There's academics, there's a flight line, and there's a simulator.
The concept of the simulators really is to save flights. We put these guys in the simulators and we teach them how to start engines, how to go through checklist procedures, how to do basic takeoffs and landings, how to get comfortable in the jet.
The feeling of it is perhaps a little bit different than the actual airplane. It's pretty close. The performance of it is very close.
The other good thing with the simulator is it allows us to give these guys emergency procedures. I can give these guys engine fires in flight. I can give these guys hydraulic failures in flight. I can give these guys flight control problems. I can test their ability to fly the airplane, get it up and get it down in all weather conditions. We want them to know that at the end of this academic simulator journey they're getting ready to embark on, that the gold mine at the end of that journey is a training flight in F-15.
During the sim, it's not like the aircraft. You don't have all the signs. They're just kind of sitting in that dark hole.
I think Giggy's confidence is probably there. Whether or not he can carry that to fruition, don't know.
Once that clamshell door closes and you've got that 360-degree view around you, you forget that you're actually in the simulator. You really feel like you're going to fly. You really feel like you're going to fly.
All right, go ahead.
Ready on the Eagle?
Warning.
Engage in number 2.
Fire. Left. Warning. Engine fire. Warning. Engine fire. Right.
The realism in the simulator makes it extremely difficult. Hey, Chief, looks like I got a hot start on the right side.
Giggy had some problems. You know, you're gonna burn this thing up? Come on, let's get the throttle back. Let's see if the light goes out. Giggy found himself in a situation where he was having a hard time rubbing his tummy and patting his head.
I just jumped to conclusions, thought I knew what was going on, got pretty spun up, and made some bad decisions. All right, stand by, Chief.
Warning.
Chief, on emergency ground aggression off the left side.
Gotta start working it.
The simulator is absolutely a torture device. It's just absolute pain. Got all kinds of multiple malfunctions. You're just sweating for an hour and a half.
You know, if it was easy, anybody could do it.
Clear. Clear for an F-15. Race start number 2.
Engaging number 2.
Yeah, Bones 1-2, clear takeoff, 3-1 right.
Bones 1-2, clear takeoff, 3-1 right, switching.
Warning. Engine fire.
You're sitting in there and somebody's out at the console just absolutely dialing death your way that you have to handle.
All right, look, Giggy, you gotta start flying the jet, buddy. Right now, you're not doing the right thing.
I don't like them. That whole God environment where they can deliberately mess with you, I guess it's good training, but I'm like, this is not realistic. Tower, Bones 1-2 is aborting down the runway. Bones 1-2 suffered a AB blowout on takeoff. No assistance required. Plan is to taxi back.
I don't know, I probably would have put the hook down because you were above 100 knots.
Okay.
Didn't need to because you're on a long runway, but you never know. Huh?
Roger.
Better safe than sorry.
I just wasn't sure if I was past that first cable yet, so I was kind of worried.
You know, I think you could have done better, right? Let's get this thing on the deck and we'll go debrief it and talk about it.
I think they should give you more basic practice in aircraft control and instruments and things before they start telling you how terrible you are. And you're looking at all the flashing red lights and everything's going wrong and you're not taking care of the problem. It's not like anybody needs to tell you that you're sucking it up.
I think probably what we're going to need to do is refly this again. Didn't demonstrate proficiency on the areas you needed to.
Lieutenant Giggy is having some problems with some of the emergency procedure training and flying the jet and trying to do both at the same time. The busted ride is a failed ride in the sim. That's bad news. Once you bust a certain number of simulators in a row, you start leaning toward being eliminated from the course.
All of us, we've only got so many chances to repeat stuff. You get a couple tries, if you don't get it, that's it, you're out.
In the first week at Tyndall, I am not getting to spend a great amount of time with the family. My wife is a little bit terrified, I think, by the prospect of starting some new training. We've been content as a family doing the T-38 instructor stuff. It's a very good life. It's a small town America.
Panama City's our 8th move. So I'm pretty tired of moving.
The stresses at home are all the same stresses that we all deal with. You know, honey, I want to be home. I want to be with my family. That's my #1 priority. And my job is to be an American fighter pilot. It's a blessing, it's a calling, but that's my job.
On the average, I see Michael 2 hours, an evening, if that, and mainly just for dinner. It's very hard to be alone and in a new place, and the only people that you have are your children. And you don't have your husband anymore because he's busy, and it makes a marriage and everything harder. It makes a marriage harder.
I didn't want to marry a pilot. I really wanted a husband who worked a 9-to-5 job and came home and had time with the family every night. But Marcus just wanted it so bad, and that just, to me, that was the big thing that turned me around, was just seeing how much he wanted it.
The long days, and I come home, it's time to hit the books. We try to reserve some time before I go to bed to talk and stuff, but lately it's been, study to basically where I gotta go to sleep to get enough sleep for the next day.
Being pregnant, of course, I have the ups and downs emotionally. What I handle well and when I handle it not so well. It's very difficult when I watch the baby story on TV and the husband goes to all the appointments and they have all that fun bonding. We're having a baby time.
There's my baby again. Doing real good, he hasn't fallen once.
My fearless wife. She's so damn good looking. It's unbelievable.
From my point of view, I met him during pilot training, so I was used to him having a very stressful life. I was used to him being very busy and all of that, so I don't think that I will see any less of him now. Hi, Todd! He didn't hear me.
The best thing about meeting Lori when I was going through the process of pilot training is the fact that from the get-go, she understood what my schedule was like. I was gone 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, all throughout the training program. I'm just gonna take a picture for your mom.
Stop that.
So she had some idea of what she was getting into.
I've got movers here and I can't leave.
I think it's difficult on Lori, and it's difficult on anybody that's trying to support somebody that's constantly having to gear themselves up and psych themselves up to go through these different programs. I give a lot of credit to the spouses that do that.
What's past?
The washout rate runs about 8 or 9% or so. So if you have an 8-man class, about 1 or so per class has a chance of not making it through the course.
You need to be able to talk about things because you can't possibly learn all this by yourself. And we can do no wrong by absolutely working together and trying to succeed together. And it sounds crazy, but spending time in the bar is absolutely perfect for that.
Good call, Laurel. Good call, Albie.
Here.
Albie, thank you. Beecher.
Here.
Adolf. Let's paint a bus jive. Start.
My view on the squadron bar, it's a place where we gather to talk about things. There's an old adage in the fighter pilot community that you'll learn more at the bar than you will on any flight. If you're looking for some perspective, so it's 70 hours a week of training and 1 or 2 hours at the end of the week for bonding and storytelling.
Well, as he got up, he tripped and hit the ground. He fell down. The point is, this is a fraternity that you are attempting to enter. As a student, you haven't entered it yet.
Shark kind of personifies the consummate fighter pilot. I mean, the guy has his together completely. He's an outstanding pilot. He's well respected in the squadron. When he talks, dudes listen.
So I want to know if Mace hurt himself when he stood up to take my...
Everybody in the squadron is known by their call sign. I mean, if somebody calls and she asks for Jason, I mean, everybody sits there and has to think because, who the hell is this guy? Everybody has a call sign. So looking forward to getting a call sign of my own.
When students first show up at the course, they really don't have a tactical call sign. Somewhere over the course of that 6-week period, they will do something that earns them a certain call sign. So in the meantime, we just name them Boner 1 through 6. and that's their call sign until they get the real call sign.
Dude, you're boner 1. You're boner 2. Who's the next guy?
What a better name in the Bonehead or Bone Cranium Squadron than to give all the new guys the nickname Boner. And just a boner with a number. And I just happen to be Boner 5.
I just have one question. It's directed at Boner 6 there.
Cinco de Boner, actually.
Todd Giggy. This guy walks in, and he looks like a 7th grader in a flight suit.
We call these guys snaps. It's sensitive new age pilots. You know, these guys listen to Backstreet Boys and we listen to Van Halen.
The bar has a lot of rules.
With reverence to Mr. Bones. To Mr. Bones. One more on the top of your head. There you go.
Mr. Bones is the mascot of the 95th Fighter Squadron, and he's been around for forever. Who knows where traditions start?
But you have to pay proper respect to him every time you're in the bar. So every shot is to Mr. Bones.
It seems like the only time I get out of my coffin is when I'm doing these damn videos.
Mr. Bones.
Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones! Mr. Bones! All right, there. Cinco de Boner. I just have one question at this point, and that question is this. What's up with the dude?
I think Todd, on his first day in the bar, made an impression.
We don't accept Gen Xers into the Eagle community. Yeah! Frappuccino! If you have nipple rings, remove them! If you have a tattoo, cover it up.
I mean, it would upset the balance in my world if I knew my wingman is flying around with nipple rings. So I just wanted to make that abundantly clear to him.
The best thing to do is try and stand out. Just be yourself.
Lieutenant Giggy, he's maybe a little bit too cocky for somebody with not a single hour of F-15 time under his belt, but we can take care of that.
Right? Cinco de Boner. Lesson 1 as an Eagle driver. Never pass up the opportunity to keep your mouth shut.
Approach on 1 quick climb and 17,000 is approved.
Bones 1-2, clear to go.
Roger, all clear. All right, good job.
I try to think out far enough in advance to where unexpected things don't happen too often.
And I think some of the time I've been spending at home going through that stuff has been helping me out.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
The simulator is the ultimate high-tech video game.
This part was so fun. Looking over your shoulder and just seeing the base behind you. I think I lose 300 feet with the best of them.
Well, you know what? I almost couldn't do that any better myself. That's pretty good stuff right there.
Plan is to fly over the water, dump fuel.
All right, nice job. Let's hop out. Let's go talk about it and debrief. Nice job.
I feel pretty confident about the simulators. I'm doing okay.
Captain Love and Captain Gregory are doing fine. Although Lieutenant Giggy, his grades tended to tell me that maybe he wasn't quite up to speed.
Because he failed the first sim, Giggy's got another simulator test tomorrow. And it is time now for him to step up to the plate and do better.
Well, I realize the importance of the simulator tomorrow. Hopefully I can show them that I'm serious, I'm here for business, and that's it, bottom line. I'm pretty pissed off about my performance on that simulator. Bummed me out. Basically, I know I'm capable of doing better than that. As they say, it's important that you don't suck today. It's important that you don't suck today.
If Giggy were to fail this ride a second time, it would be a cause for concern. That's very rare to have back-to-back failures. He has to have no hiccups. He has to do this correctly to get to the next ride.
Captain Love, ready for that first flight? You're about to see what it's all about. Captain Love and Captain Gregory now move on to the next step, their first flights in the jet, and Love is up first. What is it going to take for these guys to get ready for their first flight? The fear of God. Mike Love, he's about to go out and strap on the F-15, the greatest fighter there is.
It's your first time flying the F-15. It is almost too hard to put into words how great of a day it is.
This is going to be a blast. It's going to be awesome.
The first flight in the F-15 is a kick in the pants with a student in the front seat and an IP in the back seat.
The first ride means you've transitioned now from just talking about how to fly, just simulating how to fly, to actually putting some of those skills to the test.
Captain Love, he's clearly on his way to getting in the jet for the first time, and he was a B-1 pilot. But the question in my mind is always the same. I don't care where you come from. Are you going to be able to do it? Are you going to be able to fly the F-15? To be quite honest with you, you can never answer that question one way or the other by just looking at somebody. He's got to go out and do it.
I've come to terms with the potential for danger in flying. Things can go wrong, but there's nothing to replace actually flying, and so I'm very excited about it.
All right. It's important for me to demonstrate to everybody that I have what it takes. You're only as good as your last performance, so to speak, or your last simulator. So when you do something marginal, yeah, you're kind of hanging your cranium a little bit low. You know, it can't be bad the whole time. Something good's gotta happen.
Okay, back to the end of the runway. Another jet, another day.
All right. Tower, Bones 1-2, clear for takeoff, 3-1, right?
Bones 1-2, roger, clear for takeoff.
Giggy needs to be able to deal with the emergency procedure without looking through the world with a straw.
Warning, engine fire, right.
Okay, Giggy, come on. You know, we got engine fire.
I was wandering off course and I was doing like 10 different things and I was just a big mess, and he freezes the simulator and he just says, "Is there any doubt in your mind that you're doing the wrong thing?" And I'm just like, come on, man, give me a break.
This is like a bad dose of medicine, but it's a life insurance policy in that you got to know every procedure.
Soft Bones 1-2, emergency at a...
After that, the whole ride just went downhill. We started the penetration. I was still working on the emergency procedure. And he starts bringing on other problems, other lights. And every light that came on, he just started saying, "Oh, you got an inlet light. What are you going to do? Inlet light, inlet light, inlet light."
Okay, Giggy, come on. You got to take care of the issue.
But he just knew that I was so rattled and that I was at least 20 or 30 feet away from him, so I couldn't get out of the simulator and strangle him.
You got to start flying the jet. It's flying you right now.
I think they forget what it's like to just start out. And they get absolutely frustrated with you and they say mean things to you and you're like, come on, I bet you couldn't do this.
Well, I get very frustrated when a student busts a sim, and doubly frustrated if he busts two of them.
I'm still gonna plan on flying a little conservative. I'm gonna fly a flatter, faster approach.
Bones, 1-2, soft, Roger. What kind of hydraulic lights you got on right now?
It's quite mesmerizing, especially when everything is red and flashing at you.
Engine fire.
Oh.
Warning. FTIT. Overtemp.
Giggy. I saw in Giggy, for the first time, maybe a little bit of fear. I think it has set in the gravity of the situation.
Bones 1-2, clear land. I had all this pent-up frustration and anger for how I had performed, you know, under pressure. And unfortunately, for me, a lot of the mistakes you make are irreversible, and then you're basically screwed.
Keep it on the runway. Keep it on the runway. Don't let it go off. Come on. Keep it on the runway. How about the hook?
Tower, Bones 1-2, emergency is AFP rollout.
Bones 1-2, Roger. Here comes 101 fire trucks.
Obviously, I think you agree that didn't go much better. Matter of fact, we may have taken a couple steps backwards. I think Giggy got a little emotional about it. I think here's a young man that's been successful at everything he's ever done. It's been easy for him, carried a little bit of swagger, and all of a sudden he knows that he's failed. Not only failed once, but he's failed twice.
I'm incredibly hard on myself, and you get to the point where you just have such rage that you just want to scream, and I don't like feeling that way.
Lieutenant Giggy has struggled in the early portion of the course, not doing very well in academics, and then actually failing 2 of the emergency procedure simulators. Now it's up to the point that he only has 1 shot left, 1 more time to get that right, and if he messes that up, he is done. We are washing him out of this course.
He's better than that. He's got the potential to be a good fighter pilot. But you know, son, it's time to step up to the plate and not strike out. His dream's in jeopardy.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode. Next time, an American fighter pilot, Marcus and Mike live their dreams and fly the F-15 for the first time.
You are Buck Rogers that day.
But Giggy is grounded.
It's do or die, get the job done or go home.
Strap yourself in, there's turbulence ahead. As the quest to be Top Gun continues.